Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronica and I'm glad to be back again for another interesting episode. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly subscribe, like, share and comment. Engage with me on my videos and I'll be glad to connect with you. I share my personal stories and my personal growth journey with you so that you can learn from it and you can as well apply it to yourself if you find yourself in similar situations. And if you see that this kind of topics are what you're interested in, join the family. Do not only watch, subscribe and also invite others to join. I got a question that actually brought about me thinking, why not let me put together some clips for you. This just like showing you few things that I do in a typical week, and my week and days differ a lot. It's not a representation of how all my weeks and all my days would usually be like, but at least you have an idea of a typical day or typical week. So that's why I also came along here to do a sit down video to attach to it so that I can give you more context to what you'll be seeing in the video from school. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be narrating a typical semester, right? And then I'll show you few clips, my classes and some other things I do in between. It's typical, right? It's not usually what will happen every week, but aside classes, yes, classes might be something that is consistent because we already know where our classes will be, we already know where our tutorials will be. But let me just paint a picture for you of how these things work. I hope it helps, especially for those that will be going for a similar type of study, probably a master's and undergrad. And if you're coming to my school, lucky you get to experience how it looks before you get here, and you get your mind prepared. You experience what it's like to be a student here, and you're prepared. You're better prepared mentally, especially before you get here. So yeah, let's delve into today's video. I'll start with how my school works in terms of studies, and the main reason why I decided to put out a video like this was because I got a question when I recorded the video about our MSc experience in the UK. I recorded it with my two good friends, Glory and Moses. If you have not seen that video, please watch it. I will link it up somewhere on the screen. And when I put out that video, a lot of you have really engaged with it and you loved that video. And someone asked me that how many days do we physically appear in school for a week's class, and I responded between 2 to 3 days, and I'm going to be explaining to you how that works. I am a master's student in Heriot Watt University. In a typical semester, you would usually have 4 courses. Okay, so each course would weigh 15 units, and so in total every semester you're expected to have 60 units. As a master's student, you are required to go through 3 semesters, 60 units for each semester. So in first semester we go through 15 units per course. That's 4 courses. Second semester is the same, and third semester is going to be projects, which weighs 60 units in total. So in first semester I had 4 courses, and I was expected to go to school 3 times. And the way it works is that there's a mix of both lectures and tutorials. So there are some courses that would also have tutorials. So normal lectures would usually take 2 hours and tutorials will take 1 hour. So most times you're expected to have a 3 hours meeting every week for each course, although not all courses would require tutorials. So courses like maybe courses that you have to do practicals or go to use the system for practice, or maybe you solve a lot of questions. Those are the kind of courses that you have tutorials. Look at it as a 2 hours class 4 times, and probably a 1 hour meeting for 2, 3 or 4 classes based on how many times you have tutorials per class. Okay, so that's how it works, and usually God would have it for me. I don't know if that's how it is or if it is deliberate and for everyone like that. My classes are usually between 3 days, arrange 3 days, between 2 and 3 days. Okay, so you are actually expected to go to school at least 3 times, and there is a requirement for you to sign in for those 3 days. Okay, it's compulsory. That's actually the backstory to it. I hope you already have an idea of how that works. So the semester that I'll be showing you is second semester. The second semester My class days, unlike first semester that was Monday to Wednesday, my class days in second semester is usually on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So sometimes Tuesdays and Thursdays, I still have to go to school, especially when I have a lot to do, a lot of courseworks, a lot of readings, research. I still have to go to school, but it's mandatory for me to go to school Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So on Monday, I have one class on Monday between 9 and 11. On Wednesday, I have one class between 11 and 1 p.m. And on Fridays are usually my busy days. Friday is supposed to be a day where we are just chilled and looking forward to the weekend. But Friday was one of my busiest days in second semester. So my classes will usually start from 11 to 6 p.m. I have 2 tutorials and 2 classes. So that means that in second semester, I have 4 classes and 2 tutorials. 4 classes with 2 hours meeting each, and 2 tutorials with 1 hour meeting each. So for 2 of my courses, I didn't have any tutorials, if you understand what I mean. So my first tutorial starts from 11 to 12. The next one starts from 1 to 2. And then I have my class from 3 to 5 and 4 to 6. So there's a 1 hour clash in between, and then I find a way to just meet up somehow. Sometimes I leave the first class early, sometimes I take permission, I join the next class, but it was something that was not rectifiable, so I had to work with that. Also, I will need to state that I leave 1 hour from school, and sometimes I have to wake up very early to get to school, especially on Mondays because I have a 9 a.m. And so because I have to factor in how the bus works, I have to wake up really early and leave the house around 7 past 7 at most, so that I can get to school before 9. Sometimes I find myself running on Monday morning because because I wake up late or because something happens. But yeah, I'll just take you through it and then you understand. So let's start with Monday. This Monday, it was a rainy day, and then it was really, really cold. So I had to just rush out to get the bus. I'll tell you about the bus system and the bus card later. And then I'll give you tips as well on how to navigate the school life, or things that you can do to make life easier for you as a student here in the UK or in Edinburgh, if you find yourself in Heriot Watt or any other university in Edinburgh. So things that will make schooling easy for you will be at the end, so make sure that you watch this video till the very end. So yeah, let's continue. I am trying to get a bus, and then I'll go straight into school because I want to meet my 9 o'clock class. I did not record my Monday class, but after class I just decided to hang out in school. Like I said, my Monday class starts from 9 and ends by 11, and I'm through for the day. And because I have courseworks and other things that I would have to prepare for or work on, I just come to this place. This place is called the Learning Commons. It's not the library, but I prefer to stay here sometimes because it's just more open. It's not very quiet, neither is it so noisy. So I had to stay here after my class and just cover up some work before I leave for home. So that's what happens majorly on a typical Monday. I'll just be showing you what the school looks like on my way back home. I'm leaving now to go and get the bus. You can stay tuned to see me board the bus later in the video, and then to show you how the bus card looks. This is the student shop where we get things, and then it's just on the way back. I decided to just give you a brief look. I'll be on my way back and I'll allow you enjoy the view, and I'll meet you to talk about Wednesday. Enjoy, guys.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that.
Let's go to Wednesday. And let me also chip in here that sometimes I have to come to school on my free days because coursework can be really choking. I did a research course and I also did a financial modeling course where I had to do a lot of, personal studies and research and go to the library. All of that can bring you to school on your free days, but I'm not going to be showing you what I do on my free days. I'll just show you how the other 3 class days are. Okay, so on Wednesday my class starts by 11 to 1. So this is how a typical class looks like in my school.
Most times you have to pay rapt attention in class because you get to learn a whole lot of new things. And for example, look at what's on the board. Honestly, I wasn't understanding before, and that's why after classes it takes me time to go back and understand, practice. Just like you see me here, I'm done with class now, but I have to go back to what has been taught or probably just work on a coursework. So typically I come back to the commons. I've shown you the commons on Monday. I come back here and just try to read as much as I can. Sometimes it requires that I get a textbook from the library, or sometimes I just have to do my own personal research and then continue to study hard until I get the concept. And then other times I just make sure that I reach out to people that can help me, or I discuss with a friend and ask questions just until I get what I want to get from the class. I also can do my coursework or prepare for other classes that I have, and that's how I spend the rest of the day. So sometimes I say that you have to spend your free time. If you think that you have so much free time, honestly it's not enough, because the kind of work you would do would be a lot. They bombard you with so many new concepts, so many new things that you need to learn. So you just have to keep learning. You just have to keep using your free time to understand. So I'll just leave you to enjoy. What I'll be doing for the rest of Wednesday is just to do my personal studies, and then I'll show you where I'll take a break. I would get something to eat, and then I would take a restroom break, and that will be the end for Wednesday.
Welcome to Friday. This is the third day, and today is a busy day, right? Let's assume that today is a Friday where I'm recording and where I'll be going to school. I would usually leave the house very early sometimes, even when my tutorial starts by 11, so that I can revise. It's usually a lot for Friday, so I do not want to be caught unawares. Sometimes I revise our last week's class, and sometimes I just prepare ahead when I know what we are going to have. There was one tough course that we usually have on Mondays and Fridays. Actually, the tutorial is on Friday and requires a lot of calculations. Honestly, that course usually gets me on my seat for long. So you see me in the commons. I think I've mentioned the commons to you. The commons is a place where I just like to stay. It's not a library, but it's like a place where you can read as well and concentrate. There's a printer, there are systems if you want to use them, and also sometimes it can be crowded, but the reason why I even like it is because of the flexibility. It's not too quiet and it's not too noisy sometimes. So I get to kind of do whatever you like. You can bring friends, you can bring anybody here if you have a visitor. So it's just where I stay most times, and you find me there when I have a lot of coursework, when I have a lot of things to read, when I have a lot of things to do. And yeah, it's just easy for me. Although sometimes I go to the library when I really, really need to focus, because sometimes this learning commons can be very crowded. So when I really need to focus or I need to get a book, I go to the library, but this is usually my base. So I came in early on Friday, and then I'll prepare and then I'll show you one of my classes. I didn't record for the first tutorial, I didn't record for the second tutorial. So yeah, this is the first class, which is my third meeting for that day. It's a class, this particular class is a class that is being offered by the whole of the Edinburgh Business School. So it's a major class, although it's usually not every time that we meet like this in a big group. We have, you know, breakout classes like tutorials where you just have about 10 people and everyone would have their lecturer. But this is one of the days where we had a big group class, and so that's why the class is so big. And yeah, also you see our lecturer carrying a baby. One of the students came in with a baby and she was just so glad to help. Yeah, it was fun. And then I'll have one more class for today. I don't think I recorded that, but if I did, you'll see it, and then that will be all. Also, I'll be showing you clips of me getting into the bus and a picture of my bus card. That will be part of the tips I'll be giving you if you really want to have a smooth stay as a student.
These tips are tips that I wish I knew way earlier as a student, so I believe that it would help you. But that's by the way. Let's get into the class for today. So here are we in the big class. I'm just going in and we're about to start. I would find myself a seat and the class would commence. So I'll leave you to just see how the whole class will go, and then you see the next class for today. After that, we can move on from there. Enjoy, guys. So most times, because Friday is usually a long day, I do not usually have to go back to the learning commons or to the library to continue my personal studies. I just decide to go back home so that I can rest from the week and continue my reading at home. So I'm waiting for the bus now, and I will just take you into the bus with me and show you how it looks like. And I'll show you my bus card. When I get home, I'll do a little bit of reading. That will be the end for Friday, and we'll move back to the tips that you need as a student. Stay tuned and enjoy, guys.
And yeah, that would end my tour. That would end a typical week as a master student. I hope I've been able to answer a number of questions. I did this because of people that will really want some of these questions to be answered. I hope this helps. If you have any other question, please drop it and I would answer them. And yeah, let's go on to tips. I think I have 3 tips for you. If you're going to come to Edinburgh, or if you're going to come as a student here in the UK, the first tip I have for you is to stay in school. If you can stay on school campus, it's just much more easier. Honestly, sometimes it's just better to be closer to class. It's better to be closer to resources like the library. It's better to be close to other students for relationship and community sake, if that makes sense. For me, I didn't stay in school, and sometimes it's usually very difficult, especially during peak periods like exam periods and coursework periods. Sometimes I have to leave school very late and still board the bus and move for about 1 hour before I get to the house. If you can't stay in school, please stay close to school, at least somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes to 20 minutes to school is still fair. Don't stay too far from school so that it's easier for you. In Edinburgh, it can be really difficult because the housing system is quite tight, so really do not have so many options, and the only option I got was about 1 hour from school. Although if I were mobile, it's not up to 1 hour, but because the bus system requires that the bus picks people and stops regularly to also allow people to alight, it takes more time, so it's 1 hour. So yeah, stay close to school or stay in school. Second tip is for you to get a bus card. If you are going to be staying out of school, get a bus card, and that bus card would help you. You know, you are paying for the month. Although sometimes if you're not someone that will go out all the time or regularly, it might not pay you because you're required to pay about 55 pounds for the month for your bus, and you know that that's all you're spending. Whether or not you go to so many places, you are going to be working within that 55 pounds or 57. So yeah, you're going to be paying that amount, and for 28 days, not 1 month, not 30 days, for 28 days. And it just saves you money if you're someone that goes out a lot and you have to go out, and you know that all of your outings will cost you more than that in the whole month, so it just saves you costs. But if you're not someone that would usually go out, maybe you just go to school alone, you might not need to get the card. Just pay with your own card and they deduct you for that particular journey between 2 and 4 to 5 pounds per trip. So just calculate it. If you're spending about say 8 pounds, you know, depending on your location, let's just say 5 pounds regularly per day. If you multiply it by 30 days, that's going to be about 150 pounds, give or take. So imagine that you're just paying 57 pounds to lock that down for the month. It kind of makes sense. So it's better if you get your bus card. But if you know that you're staying in school and you do not need it, please don't bother. Don't waste your money. Just pay for the journey as you go. So the very last tip I'll give to you is to ask questions and talk to people. Be very comfortable with asking questions, especially when you are not clear on things. It will really help you. There are a lot of resources that you have in school. There is a library, there's a help desk, there are online resources, there are people you can send mails to, there are people you can call. So if you're confused, please make sure that you ask questions. There is always someone in charge of something in school. You might not just know, but if you really want to know, you have to ask. You have to walk up to the receptionist at the front desk, or you walk up to the librarian or those in charge of the library, or you walk up to any help person that you can just clarify things with, or you send a mail to people. I am sure that if you attend your induction as a student, all of the information you need will be provided to you. And if you don't, please just catch up with all of these things online or in person, walk up to students, walk up to people, ask them questions, and it will really help you. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, please drop them. I'm going to answer them, and then let me know if there's any other video you would want me to record and put out for you, especially as a student. Like I said, I have a lineup of content already. If it's not already on my list, I'll add it to my list, but if it's on my list, I may just bring it up on the list so that it comes out faster, and you can get it and it answers your question in no time. But if not, just ask me whatever question it is that you have, and I'll respond in the comments below. Having said that, this brings me to the end of the video. Do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and engage with me. Like I would always say, join the family. You'll be glad you did. And then I'll see you again in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.